Hey guys, Owen here, Students Union Palace here in College Road. Been 2 weeks since my last video blog, but thought I'd give you a bit of an update on how things are going. First thing is the grant system. A little bit of progress on the electronic fund transfer system being instituted in Cork City Council, which will make it a lot easier for people to collect grants. Grants payments be forwarded directly into the bank account, which they are for Cork County grant applicants, but not for Cork City grant applicants, which would be our second biggest contributor to grant applications in UCC. So that's progressing. Micheál Martin is looking at it, and a few other TDs in the general. It's with the city manager at the moment, as well as the city councillors. I was at our lobby, the Oireachtas, about 2 weeks ago, talking to TDs and senators about the grant system, about how it's not getting through to the people who really need it, and the money isn't getting through fast enough, it's not getting through efficiently, it's leaving people a lot in the lurch. There's a lot of financial difficulty associated with the grant system and the mismanagement of it. And they're fully aware of the situation. A lot of students are going to them asking for help and advice, and it just looks like a real resource problem for the public sector and for the offices that are involved in the different local authorities. So hopefully, by raising a little bit more awareness, that the people with they're in charge of the resources and the money can allocate it there in the right direction. Second thing, yesterday, Monday, was my first day back. I was on holiday yesterday. You might notice my little bit of tan. But on Monday, I was meeting with the solicitor of the Students' Union to talk about a few legal issues surrounding the Mardeg charges and the capitation charge as it's charged for the Mardeg, and how students are liable for it, and what's the legal basis for the charging of the capitation fee. Is there a legal agreement when you sign a referendum to make that payment? And also on the legal status of the Students' Union. What is it? As it stands now, the Students' Union isn't a legal entity within itself. It's a department of the university. So my wages are determined by the university, they're not determined by students, which doesn't sit really too well with me. Don't have a lot of whole control over my own organisation, not to mind the university. So that's something that we need to investigate a little bit further. Third thing is, we have a new general manager of the Student Centre who I met today. His name is Terry Brennan. And congratulations to Terry, and we're delighted to have him on board. I know he's doing an absolutely fantastic job. It's a really challenging time for the Student Centre to be in operation at the moment, and for student money to be used wisely and effectively because of the recession. But we'll get there, and I'm sure Terry will be a fantastic manager in that regard. Fourth thing is on Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, the registrar, who's the deputy president of the university, the chief financial officer, and the vice president for the student experience will be meeting with myself, the president of the Students' Union, and Ian, the deputy president of the Students' Union, to talk about the allocation of the registration fee and how that money is divvied up and allocated within the university existing budgets and structures. So hopefully we'll get somewhere with that, and we'll be able to look at how the university is allocating that money, and when it's going to the places that it really needs to go to, and where like the most vulnerable students are taken care of, and also that we're getting the bang for our buck when we pay the 1,500 to the university and we're actually getting something out of it. So that'll be a very interesting discussion on Thursday morning. I'll let you know how it goes. There have been similar systems set up in Trinity and other institutions, so it'll be interesting to compare and contrast them. And then on Friday, I have a national meeting of all the students' unions in the country. We'll be talking about where the national student movement is going, how effective it is in lobbying TDs and affecting political change, giving students something back in commercial offers and availability and things like that. So should be really interesting. It's all the presidents that are the members of the Union of Students Ireland, and then the presidents who aren't as well. There's 3 of them: TCU, UL, and CIT. So they're invited along as well, and hopefully we'll get a little bit of progress to make a national students movement that is more streamlined, more responsive, and more in touch with the needs of everyday students. So kind of a busy week, kind of swamped actually coming back from holidays, but wouldn't be here if I loved it, if I didn't love it. So we'll see you next week. Again, congratulations to everybody who got elected in the last elections. My successor is Keith O'Brien, so hopefully he'll continue on with this conversation that we're having through the start of this year. And anyway, best of luck with everybody who's doing their spring exams, and it'll all do swimmingly. So